Well, I guess if it wasn't your first session, you'd talk about where you were up to with the thing that you wanted to deal with. So in my case, it was smoking, and I'd made the decision before we really got into it to actually do the stopping smoking rather than any kind of cutting down or any of those kind of things. So we talked about that and kind of how I was feeling about those particular things at the time, and you know, were there cravings, were there anxieties, were there any of those kind of things. So for example, if I was thinking about those habitual moments when you smoke, the session might deal with them. I suppose the session was in two halves really, a kind of talking element at the beginning, and then the kind of the journey, hypnotherapy.
The experience that I had was the hypnotherapist talking to me, building up a visual image of a scene of some kind that led me to expand my imagination more and totally put me in that scene. And that's all it is, just talking you through a visual kind of scene, and the deeper you go into that in your imagination, the more relaxed you become.
You know, it wasn't like that thing in the Avengers where some concentric circles spin around and you, so you know, and a watch swings by and suddenly you find yourself kind of almost zombified or catatonic. There wasn't any of that kind of sense. You are conscious, you know, you are aware that at any moment you could go, yeah, I've had enough now. Or like if you were uncomfortable with something, you could go, I don't want this.
And then clearly there must be some triggers there somewhere of, you know, what you're seeing on this journey or what's there in front of you or whatever to help you deal with whatever it is that you're going to see a hypnotherapist for. Because you get stuck, don't you, in your head of thinking about things in a certain way, and you kind of repeat yourself a lot. But if you can break that cycle in some way, then that can change things. And I think that hypnotherapy does that. It breaks the cycle of how you think about things.
Just let the words like happen really, and I kind of think it's not about trying to keep concentration, I think, because it's there anyway, it's kind of going in anyway. I think you eventually kind of relax into it. You focused around little stories and journeys and things that you would see, and they were quite nice because you could go along with them. They gave you a little narrative to go along with really, and I kind of think that was kind of quite useful, or also quite entertaining in an odd little way, because it'd be interesting to see where it would go next. And of course, because they weren't real scenarios, you could end up in bizarre little places, which I thought was quite nice. I really enjoyed the kind of storytelling element of it.
You just feel absolutely relaxed. I think because the journey that you're going on, this is the journey that you're going on, you're walking down a path, you're doing this, you're doing that, because that's going to be related to why you're there. It is that thing of experiencing it in another way. It breaks it down and it changes it around, and it's no longer the thing that you thought it always was, or that you've fixated on, or that you're stuck in, you know. It's sensory, it's not just like, oh, I'm just imagining a picture. It is a journey that you're going on. You're being taken into that place, and by being taken into that place in another way from which you normally take yourself into that place, it breaks it down and kind of changes it.
You know, there's a sense in which it's not being just told a story. There's things in there that are specific to what you're dealing with, and there are things that are symbolic or visualizations of what you're going through. So for example, in one of the stories, I went on a boat to a little island and there was a bag there of things, you know, that you had to carry, kind of thing, and they were symbolic of the kind of the crutch or the weight or the kind of the cigarettes as a thing. So you know, and it was a bag that eventually within the story you could lose that bag and it wasn't an issue, or you could get rid of that bag and it wasn't an issue. So, you know, things in there do have their kind of symbolic place.
This is just about accessing what you've got inside of yourself, the capability you have inside of yourself to overcome fears, relax, face things that you are concerned about,